It's generally the idea for RSG is to actually be not afraid to die anytime, because what your win condition could be is to engage, right? But they also have that maybe that second player, you know, your plan B, utilizing this Diablo Benedetta for the split push. Now, I'm not entirely confident on whether or not Diablo actually plays that way, right? Maybe Alcer can play this whenever he plays the Benedetta, or maybe Gideon along the way from the sides can actually give us a whether because he's excited to see the Benedetta. Does he play the split push way, right?
Most of the time he actually do go for split push,
Okay.
but it does seem like it's a little bit out of his character to actually go around to the opponent's buff that much. Usually he will proxy the lanes and then he will just kind of give information instead. But sometimes from the top lane, he goes over to middle lane to clear and try to get the hyper carry in himself in the early stages.
So even this seems to be a new book, a new chapter in the RSG playbook. I'm excited to see where this leads and how far they can push Burnex Flash, because getting off on the right foot, despite Burnex Flash having an amazing draft, I'm here for it. And it looks like our Marshall says they are too, as we go back into the game. There's Hook!
Oh, and no problem! It does seem as though Yuzakine wants to continue on, but a flicker comes in from Oki to ensure that he'll be able to come close to Donut.
Wow. Great answer coming out from RSG slate. Well, there was a great hook onto the far side, but the fact that they took a donut in between two lanes, I think that's going to be great.
I think this is going to be bad due to the fact that Donut actually died 2 times in bottom lane already. That is not great in an even matchup between carry as well as Beatrix. But right now, RSG, they're getting themselves right underneath the turret's nose, and CCAT and D7 doesn't seem like they will be able to defend that too much.
They're treading the needle here, and they see that turtle is up, so they might need us elsewhere. Let's let Donut breathe first, but again, that's a tactical retreat coming in from RSGSG. Up top, Diablo's, again, going as aggressively as he could, forcing ATM here to back out. Something to note about Burnex Flash's draft is they have no real peel. Besides ATM, who actually wants to draw a line between his opponents and his squad, there's really not much they can do to stand up against RSG's damage, and now a free turtle take right in front of ATM's face.
Roy did manage to get hit by the grab, but it doesn't seem like it will be too big of a thing, because RSG don't want to be so aggressive on ATM. Great escape though when it comes down to the flicker. In the meantime, down to the bottom lane, great start coming from CCAT. Oki knew that they have no choice but to take the fight head on. He goes down, and so will Lucent Cutie.
The numbers game were against RSG down bottom, and it looks like they couldn't find a way to capitalize, so this was a losing trade.
Oh, 100%. Burnex Flash. Great cross map play that you saw from them. They put 3 heroes onto the bottom lane right as the second turtle ended. So what happened was, the members of RC were divided, Oki was left open, and even when they decided to not contest the turtle, they went in for a bottom lane trade where they got a kill onto Oki and the turret.
And given this situation right now, RSG Slate SG have to repair. Let's again look at what gave Burnex Flash here this 500, 600 gold lead in this early of a game state. Here's that mistake down bottom. They picked the fight against 3 members.
Donut flickering in, just looking for Oki, not really minding Lucent Cutie. There was a great jump coming up from Lucent Cutie eventually, but you saw that Donut was focused on a mission, win the gold lane matchup, and now they're leading by 400. They even transferred to the top lane.
I really like the fact that Burnex Flash immediately went for recovery mode in the bottom lane to try to make things good for Donut. In the meantime, RSG knew what's going to be happening. They went to go down to the bottom lane, but Diablo was unable to hold the fort all by himself.
It's the same flub. RSGSG seems to have overestimated the amount of sustain and the potential for outplay in the lane that they're willing to trade for. So yeah, they're a step behind currently. Now, about 2k down, Bray looking to steal again this purple buff away from Chima, but Chima is a step ahead as well. Look, he took the purple already from RSG.
The siege from Burnex Flash is definitely devastating over to the hands of RSG, right? There's really like not much that they can do. Burnex Flash is just playing their own game, while RSG is a little bit slow on that.
Astral Echo already set in by CCAT, looking for better ways to engage, and here's ATM coming in.
He's just gonna be caught in between of everyone else with the first person down. Bray takes himself the turtle, and Burnex Flash would want to retreat, full-on retreat. Shama makes a quick run, but Diablo with the sword out strike brings him down with 2 members down.
Wonderful recovery coming up from RG Slate. especially because they were able to control that pit under Turtle. But Burnex Flash, macro plays for the past 2 minutes. They traded for bottom lane turret, and then up top they got 2. Then they got the middle. They might have given away the Turtle, and now another turret, but they are evening up when it comes to the gold just because of their macro adjustments.
It seems like there's a rubber banding effect here that RSG has taken advantage of. The fact that Burnex Flash has been conditioned to send more bodies elsewhere opens up that small window for RSG to, again, shrink this currently 400 gold lead, which was prior about 2,000. 5-5 here. The map's looking as close to 50-50 as it can be with a minute away from the first lord of this game. Now we're looking for that next engage. A lot of vision coming in from Burnex Flash. So I'd say, unless Diablo says, you know what, it's a clear go, boys.
Yep.
2 here, 3 here,
Yep.
find that take. It should be go for RSG. One thing to note though, they still have that goal, that tier 1 up top.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, what's going to be the play? Oh yeah, of course, Sendoki.
Yeah, Sendoki there. And by the way, Burnex Flash also managed to push the mid lane turret while also retaining their own. And while it is almost an even matchup when it comes to their economy, the fact that they have maintained their tier 1 in the middle means that they have more map control.
And Donut immediately jumps himself into Panet's rage, followed after D7's hooks.
So that's something you don't have when you're RSG. Everything has to come clean. Everything has to come when you're ready.
The pincer maneuver down on the Oki. ATM brings him down as Burnex Flash huddles together, congregated together to make sure that they will be able to push RSG away from their own jungles.
That's what I was saying. When Burnex Flash says we want this, they're more sure. It's easier to set up. RSG need maybe 2 steps, and here comes Diablo.
Unfortunately, the Petrify just did not connect. ATM comes in between and stops his advance.
Oh, they're going for the blitz. Burnex Flash scores the first lord of the game. Something to note, Diablo usually rocks and execute when he wants to play this way in the Benedetta. What's with the Petrify?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. But what I do know is that Burnex Flash had a great last minute. It was the most fluid 1 minute I saw from Burnex Flash. They got a kill in the middle. They pinch from top into that L bush up top where the lizard is. They got a kill onto Oki. Then they get the Lord. That was so fluid from Burnex Flash.
There's definitely some sense in Diablo picking up the Petrify. Now, he kind of pretty much changed his idea and how he wanted to play the game. Instead of going so much of a side split push kind of thing, he will want to play for his team a lot more with the Petrify and all. But unfortunately, it seems like they are completely not utilizing the Benedetta's advantage.
And it looks like D7, the rest of Burnex Flash have read into that. Maybe checkmate, because his hooks have been landing 50% of the time, and that's a huge stat. That's a huge amount of hooks coming in through a 10-minute game. That's a tier 2 in mid push, the main artery exposed for RSG. Slate SG, Burnex Flash looking to capitalize. They have a Lord. All the lasers synced.
The top lane is just gonna be marched down by the Trident-bearing Lord, and he's gonna be melted down relatively fast.
Whoa.
In the meantime, great snipe down onto Lucian Cutie. The front line is not gonna be there for a good amount of time. There's not gonna be some present coming in, but Red Hot coming in right through onto Oki, and this RSG doesn't have the damage that they wanted anymore.
Knock up that stat to about 60%. If not, it's worth it. I don't care. You get 1 hook that matters. That's all that matters right now. And oh,
Phantom airstrike along with a deadly cat. Everything's just gonna be tossed right on the opponents, and they will throw whatever that they can. ATM gets himself snacked out on top of Lucian Cutie. There's gonna be a 2-for-1 trade, but Oki, he's coming back out. The top lane and the middle lane inhibitor turret is unfortunately gonna be taken down, followed shortly by the bottom.
4v4, the defense of a lifetime coming in from RSG Slade. Roy doesn't have his feather airstrike just yet. Burnex Flash, let's go.
The Cambodian aggression, we're talking about this. It was part of the spills that we were given, and now we can see it. So ever since 9 minutes, they didn't even let go of the pressure they're putting on the map. Pushing up top, pushing a bit, getting the Lord, and when they pushed against RSG, they stayed, but did not overstay. They got a pick off, they got more, but wonderful plays coming out from Roy.
Do you see how much damage that was? Even Sika wasn't ready. Even Sika was shocked.
That was a big big catch. Let's say that, and not to forget, the Lord will be coming up in 15 seconds. CCAT will just barely make it. So I believe that RSG, they can actually try to force a fight due to the fact that Novara is nowhere to be seen anymore.
Roy still needed to be there, and Roy would rather not died. And rather, CCAT, Roy got him. The fact that he kept his flicker might mean that he's willing to gamble that. But wait, look at this rotation coming in.
Oh, I love it because I was just about to say,
Check it out.
RSG, the only way for them to win this is via split push. Get a long lane pusher like Diablo, for example. But look at that. You can see that Vertex Flash knew that this could happen. They just guessed it wrongly.
Oh, there's a bloody hunt down on the Diablo. Donut was around, so RSG, they have the information. They're going to be going 4 men all in down to the Lord and immediately bring down ATM. But unfortunately, he do have got the revive. And he, with the immortality, he's going to be holding him back on. ATM, he's dead. He may be dead. RSG do not have Diablo as well.
Given the way the map looks like, no more inhibitors for RSG Slate SG. Vertex Flash read the room and understood that we can blitz the Lord. They're going to be forced to back out. We have vision on them. We're going to take this Luminous Lord and play the slow roll.
Now, that's some high-level understanding coming up from Vertex Flash, and I really love their macro. Like I said, they just guessed a wrong bush, but the idea was there. They wanted to shut down Diablo because Diablo is the remaining win condition from RSG. The biggest problem for RSG now on this defense is that they will have to commit the Feathered Airstrike. And we know for sure that without the Feathered Airstrike, you will only rely on Oki's damage output, which is single target damage against the engage comp now of Vertex Flash. That is a big problem. How will they manage their resources? When will they use the Feathered Airstrike? That's a big dilemma for RSG.
And that's what's making this all the more difficult. And that's why Vertex Flash has so much time and space to work with.
Yes,
they now
absolutely.
have the Lord marching down through mid. It's a 5v5 defense, the siege of a lifetime. Can they start it up strong?
The shred is not quite there yet for Oki, but big smack coming from Donut, leaving Diablo with only a sliver of health. But unfortunately, Lucian Kitty is not going to be staying alive for any more longer. The Lord is still at half HP. The bloody hunt connect down onto Diablo, and the entirety of the push-in from Burning Flash conquered RSG Slate SG.
You can hear the crowd roar. The Kamai love it. Vertex Flash draws first blood.
In the last push, you saw the ultimate coming up from Sika connecting onto 5 members. A pipe dream for Novara players out there. And you saw how much the vision was instrumental to them hitting and landing those skill shots.
That is a big fight for Burnex Flash, and RSG unfortunately could not contain Burnex Flash rotation. Their macro game is just great, and they had the answers to deal with Diablo's split push, even though that was his first time doing so in this game.
Folks, it's also the first time RSGSG has tasted the bitter blade of defeat. The whole MSC, they ran right through the group stages, clean sweeps back to back, but now in the hands of Vertex Flash, they have tasted their first loss. Gideon, what do you think? Was that coming out of nowhere, or was it just as exciting given the back and forth?
I love the back and forth, I love the Benedetta, but I think Wolf put it the best. Be like water, be fluid. This is, again, the momentum. I've never seen momentum turn a team literally into a liquid. Cats are liquid, Burn X Flash are burning hard this time, almost even a forest fire. But this is only just the very first game. Let's keep that in mind, right? There is still going to be adjustments and adaptations from RSG's side. And the one big one that I personally feel that may have contributed into this is executional error on this Benedetta. But that's the obvious one, right? It's Glue versus Benedetta. You just have to guess when the Franco is going to use the Bloody Hunt to go for the eye for an eye. It's a very small margin of error compared to Glue.
Definitely, and I think that the margin of error kind of shrunk coming out from for the side of RSG's late SGs because of the fact that they decided to choose a marksman that is single target damage and then couple it up and just rely on the Farsa to go for the wave clear. So apart from the fact that they don't have AoE, they don't have necessary wave clear to kind of counteract what the pick-off comp is going to be for Vertex Flash. They wanted to go for a split pushing Diablo Benedetta. that is valid. That has worked before. But I would wish that they had more wave clear to go with that so that when they lose a team fight, at least they can split push and just clear the wave, wait for the carry to be stronger the next fight.
I think the deficit of economy between Oki and Diablo is going to be one thing, right? Because they have been putting quite a lot of resources onto Diablo. Diablo trying to push as much as possible. He's taking quite a lot of creep waves as well. So we don't really quite see that kind of funnel into Oki like other team does. They put a lot of gold onto Beatrix, like for Burn X Flash. That's what they did. They sent Beatrix to the top lane right after the first defense turret goes down. They wiped out the first tier and the second tier. From that point on, Beatrix pretty much has a snowball.
And this is off of the back of Donut dying twice in the early game.
Yes.
I think Burn X Flash just had a better look into what the mid-game spike is going to be.
Absolutely.
A better recovery, right?
Yeah, and recovered through their minds. Let's go ahead and reward our MVP for game 1.
Yup, it's gonna go over to D7 on his Franco. Again, when you're comparing them, D7 versus Lucian QD, it's very obvious to know that Iron Hook makes such a difference.
Just in time, 1-0 and 9. I didn't even notice that he didn't have any depth in this game. The fact that he landed at a certain point above 50% of his hooks, which is amazing, by the way. You don't get as much looks like that. And then he will, not only that, the way that he flickers in with the Bloody Hunt onto important members, like onto Diablo in specific skirmishes, the way that he was able to land his hooks, it's not just about landing the hooks on the right targets. That gave them the advantage for sure.
Again, we talked about how those hooks could not matter even more in the late game, but the fact that when we caught the stat, it was at 51%. Woo! Was that his second or third landed hook this game? It was a punish, and I think that was key. I think the fact that D7 never let go. D7 said, yeah, Donut, it sucks right now. Just hold on, watch my hooks. Whoever I bite down, take him down.
Yeah, this is important. Look at the flicker coming up from Dota. It's great. And allow me to be a nerd right now for the highlights, just because of the fact that I think I'm excited for this. This is the 9-minute rotation. This is the start. He gets a hook, and now look at the pinch that will happen afterwards. They will get a kill onto this L bush, right? The pinch. Everybody's there all of a sudden, right? And you know what happens after? They are gonna get the Lord. This made me break my voice because it's how great the macro was coming up from Bird X Flash. Man, I hate to be the nerd here, but man, they just look so fluid.
They read the room and they understood the next step without even talking about it. I'm pretty sure if you could listen to the comms,
absolutely,
they could have said, yeah, Lord, all together. A chorus.
A chorus, as a matter of fact. I totally agree with you there. I've never seen Wolf soil his pants as hard as after seeing Burn X Flash make that beautiful trickle down in towards Lord's side. But let's really take put a magnifying glass on the overall game, because I think at the end of the day, it's very ult reliant for the side of RSG, and they don't have that continuous cooldown that they can reliably force things out of their opponents.
And one thing to take note is that Diablo didn't go for any kind of defensive item, apart from maybe the Bloodlust Axe, which kinda counts as a defensive item if you do land the damage out. But overall, you see Diablo being bursted down so easily with just one flicker and some spells coming up from BXF is already putting him down, which is a problem because now you don't have sustain and also you don't have the valid split push.
Very uncharacteristic of Diablo, actually. He normally doesn't go for third item Malefic Roar. Most of the time he would want to go and respect the opponents and build a proper defense. Sometimes he doesn't even finish the Hunter Strike.
Actually, I'm on a different opinion here. I understand what he's trying to do, because as an EXP laner, especially when you're going up against someone like Glue, you're not trying to win the lane as hard, but they kind of do the same thing. You're trying to zone off that backline, and you're not as tanky as Glue, so therefore put all your points in attack just to threaten the life of the Beatrix.
But that's only if you're thinking about the Glue. Look at the rest of Burn X Flash. You have a Bane, you have a Beatrix, you have a Novaria. That kind of greed isn't going to work, especially when Seacat, as soon as he sees Astral Echoes off cooldown, let me see where the Benedetta is.
And conversely, Chima had a great, adjustment, I'd say. Because there was a time where he was easily bursted down during the turtle fights. So after focusing on damage, which typically you can expect that from a Bane jungle, he reverted back to defense, going for the Brute Force Breastplate so that he can last in the middle of the fight. Especially because you have a skill for the Bane so that you can kind of bring back your HP. All you have to do is to survive the first combo and then just heal up, and then you're back in action. That's exactly what the adjustment was from Chima. Got 0-2 in the start, but recovered so well because of the items.
Yeah, and especially with the brute force breastplate, similar to Alpha, you can just spam your abilities and your clear speed is rather insane, going from camp to camp to camp to camp to camp.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I really like how Burnix Flash really just approached it. And Gideon was very much on point when he said, I saw it in my pants, because that was beautiful. And if this is how Burnix Flash is eyeing to defend their hometown, man, I'm up for the BXF train for sure. I mean, I have been kind of biased towards RSG SG just because of how impressed I was because of how they played in the group stages. But after seeing Burnix Flash like this, man, I think I'm riding the train, the Cambodian train.
Is this the way we can expect Burnix Flash to start drafting going into the next few games? They took out the Badang, they took out the Khalid. Now the Benedetta, they know that, hey, we can deal with the Benedetta. We know that Diablo isn't as comfortable, especially when we force him to build a certain way. Because unless RSG SG brings out something new, then this might be it.
I don't know about that one, because whether it's Benedetta or even if it's going to be Joy, the margin of error still comes onto the player. There's a lot of faith that Diablo is going to be able to escape and out-mechanic his opponents, maybe even outplay them in these types of situations. But I don't know about you guys. I think we need a bit of a breather here after the momentum, especially with the Cambodian crowd. I felt that even the Singaporeans definitely felt that type of pressure. With that being said, I'm extremely curious to what exactly Mara and as well as Rabi are up to back up on the main stage.
Thank you, casters. We're here with the fans of Burn X Flash. We have Kylie and we have YB. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good also. I love their energy. It's very good.
Now, Burn X Flash did very well for match number 1. What did you like about the first game?
អូខេឥឡូវហ្នឹង Burn Flash បានទទួលបានជ័យជំនះហើយនៅក្នុង match 1 ហ្នឹងថាតើយើងមានអារម្មណ៍យ៉ាងម៉េចដែរសម្រាប់ការឈ្នះមួយនេះ
Yeah, I'm very excited about game 1. Yeah. I និយាយខ្មែរនិយាយខ្មែរអូខេខ្ញុំចាប់អារម្មណ៍ទៅលើដៃថេងគាត់គឺហុកច្បាស់មែនតើនិយាយទៅ10ដងគាត់ហុកត្រូវ5ដងឯង
Wow, he is very excited with the player that they are very good at playing that until they defeat the enemy.
Until they defeat the enemy.
Sure.
You said you're very excited. Okay, I want to see. How do you show excitement? Show it. Show it.
Let me show it.
Okay, how?
My turn.
Show it again. Yeah.
This is what we wanted.
Okay, we're not gonna show that on camera, but basically that's what it is. Earlier you were doing this. What is that? Is that like a fusion? That's a heart.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a heart.
Now, Kylie, what do you want to see for game number 2 for Burn X Flash?
អូខេឥឡូវសម្រាប់វគ្គទី2តើយើងនឹងចង់ឃើញអ្វីពី Burn Flash និយាយខ្មែរធម្មតាយើងលេងធម្មតាទៅព្រោះយើងដាក់ឈ្នះទៀតហើយ Simple but not simple. This is one dark quote.
Okay, who do you think is the biggest threat to RSG? And what do you want done to him? Who's the biggest threat for RSG?
តើសម្រាប់ RSG អ្នកណាគេគឺជាអ្នកដែលមើលទៅគួរឲ្យខ្លាចបំផុតដែលមានភាពគំរាមកំហែងមកលើ Burn Flash របស់យើង
I think no one.
Oh!
Wow!
No one. Okay, that's a pretty big thing to say. Now, how about you, Kylie? Who do you think is going to dominate for Burn X Flash for game number 2? Pick one player.
តោះអ្នកណាគេដែលមើលទៅគឺជាអ្នកលេងខ្លាំងនៅក្នុង Burn Flash ដែលយើងគិតថានៅវគ្គទី2ហ្នឹងមិនមែនមួយហើយក៏មិនមែនពីរប៉ុន្តែគឺទាំងអស់គ្នាតែដែលល្អជាងគេគឺ D7 Wow he said that not only one not only two but all the player
All.
but the most one is D7
Oh, D7. Why? What is it about D7?
តើ D7 ហ្នឹងគាត់មានអីដែលមើលទៅអស្ចារ្យឬមួយក៏សំខាន់ដែលយើងគិតថា D7 គឺជាអ្នកដែលលេចធ្លោជាងគេមកពីពេលដែលគាត់លេងទៅគាត់លេងដោយវាយរែងតទៅពេលអញ្ចឹងទៅគឺគាត់មើលទៅខ្លាំងយកមកអូខេបកប្រែខ្លួនឯងតោះនិយាយ
Because he playing rain right now. He doesn't nervous.
Okay, you're tricking me the entire time. I thought you couldn't speak English. All right, but wait. We know you were pointing out earlier that somebody special is here for D7, right?
Yeah.
Who is that?
It's D7 girlfriend.
D7's
Wow,
girlfriend.
we have D7
Okay.
girlfriend here.
Oh, come on over here, D7's girlfriend. Come on over. By the way, we see Mirko right over here. Mirko, just a quick thing. How is your IG, your Instagram right now?
It's gone. It's gone. It's completely gone.
Okay. Guys, what happened there?
I don't know. I just drew some teams.
Guys, don't be mad at Mirko for the team draw. Let's put back his IG. Now, everyone's saying that you are the buff for D7, that D7 is stronger because you're here. How true is that?
អូខេគេលើសូថាយើងគឺជា girlfriend របស់ D7 ហើយគេថា D7 គឺជាអ្នកដែលមួយលេងមួយដែលខ្លាំងមែនទែនតើវាពិតអត់
Yeah.
Yes
Yes.
We say yes D7 is the greatest one
You are so beautiful. Now, before we go back to Burn X Flash, can we get the crowd? Help us get the crowd to cheer. We want to see your energy.
Okay, ta
for
cheer
them
for
to
Burn
have
X Flash
energy.
របស់យើង
Go
បាទ
ahead.
បង្កើត
You lead,
energy
you
ឲ្យ
lead.
បាទ
All right,
I
you heard
love
it from
it.
them. It seems like Burn X Flash will dominate from that energy. So how about let's go to our casters. Let's take it back to see the world.
Thank you, Mara, and also thank you, Ravi. It's good to see the career caster that looks almost identical to Kyrie.
No, it was Kyrie.
It was Kyrie.
It's Kyrie KH.
It is Kyrie.
Kyrie KH. Literally can't tell the difference between the two. Great to see that they are still in high hopes for Burn X Flash to wash out RSG, but we have to come down to the adaptations here. Now, let's talk about this a little bit, because I felt like in terms of the draft, there were a lot of potential pain points, but it all comes down to margin of error rather than the draft itself.
I definitely agree with you. I think it's not just about the draft for sure. I mean, we can argue all day about the draft, but what I noticed that they did is that, at least for Burn X Flash, that they had the better macro. And for RSG, State SG, what I noticed in the group stages, they also have good understanding of the game. It's not just about them just trying to win a team fight. They tried to split the map utilizing Diablo in these kind of heroes. This time, that didn't happen. They tried to engage all the time, and they were punished for it.
And it seemed like they were going too fast. I think I
That's
presented.
also true.
I presented this question earlier, right? Like, Abstract, you've seen them season after season after season, and even I said, "Hey, look, this is too fast. They're not trading towards anything."
Yeah. They're just... I'm not too sure whether they are just eager or perhaps nervous. I mean, it's the first game for today. Burn X Flash, they're just playing the heck out of that. And I think that they will be able to keep up to that momentum and just ride on to the wave. What is RSG's answer to that?
Personally, for me, I think Coach Kuja has been in this position many times when he sees his player really just not only just feeling nervous, but trying to deal with the raw momentum coming out from Burn X Flash. You gotta calm down. You have to be more situationally aware, because a lot of those pincer maneuvers that we see from Burn X Flash were, honestly, they could have just pulled away from it.
Yeah, there were so many times that they could have gotten away. Just split a lane, maybe get some defensive items so that you'll last longer. Try to focus on minions when you're not winning. So yeah, definitely, it's just that the decision maker from RC is not at par with their decision making during the stages.
Something else to note, coming in from game one with Burn X Flash from the red side winning, we're getting closer to a true 50-50. Prior to the knockout stage, we were sitting at 51 and 49%, with blue still getting the advantage. Now, again, with red being all the more a better drafting position, as was mentioned by Coach Zico earlier, I think we can finally see, I was gonna say, maybe some change in the sides, but what's going on?
Well, they decided to go like that. I think that RSG is quite confident with the way that they're drafting. Maybe the Frederick will not be the first pick now for RSG. Maybe something along the lines of a Joy, perhaps, or maybe a Valentina, which I think was kind of... It was not.
It was left open.
That was left open. Wow. Okay. Rare times. Also, Novaria. We have to talk about that hero, because clearly Burn X Flash made a good use of that hero because of the way that they drafted the Beatrix plus just the Franco, the greater hitbox, and of course the vision that they get out of it.
With having just the Novaria and Beatrix itself, we saw in the middle lane, right after the bounty hunt, they made full use of that. They have the damage to fully capitalize that catch potential from T7.
Slight adjustment coming in from RSG side. They are banning out Glue within that very first phase instead. Does that mean that we're going to see a different opening from RSG?
100%. I think there you go, the Novaria. So I really like this adjustment coming up from RSG. ATM, although he wasn't really like making the biggest plays whatsoever, on a theory, the lineup of Burn Flash worked because there was a way to zone out the damage dealers coming up from RSG. Carry had a bad time just because of this Glue.
All right, if that is the case, will we be seeing it once again, right? Going instead of playing the traditional front to front, we're looking to front to back and maybe looking for those side angles. Arguably, even the Beatrix early steal away from the side of BXF.
100%. I think the Beatrix will be picked up here to go with perhaps a jungler, an early jungler, maybe along the lines of maybe they snatch a Fredrin or Valentina plus the Beatrix.
Oh yeah, I do like that. The Valentina. Oh no, you were right about. We were right about the roles, not right about the heroes. It's Wan and Fredrin.
We didn't notice.
Yeah, we didn't notice because it was banned out by RSG. So how do you answer this? You don't have a Farsight kind of deal with it. Maybe somewhere along the lines of Lolita late into the draft. But for now, it's going to be the Martis for RSG.
Wait. Eugene. Does Diablo have a Phobius?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You gotta ban that out if you are Burn Flash.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that a lot, in a matter of fact. But at the end of the day, at least we know that Burn Flash, they want to play a traditional front to front, right? You know, hit that front line, and then slowly, once you get rid of it, go in towards that back. Fredrin is really good at it. More importantly, he's also considered a flex pick in these situations. He could go into the EXP. So it's really up to RSG to kind of pose the question rather than coming up with the answers.
Oh, it's the Valentina. Gonna talk about that earlier on. So far, I believe it was the Martis that RSG's they picked up as their third pick. The thing with Valentina is that it's the matchup between Novaria and Valentina is not as similar as a Valentina v Eve or a Valentina v Farsa, because the ultimate of the Novaria is not the main damage dealing ultimate that you get from. Surely you want the other vision whatsoever, but the real damage comes from the Astrosphere, right? So you cannot copy that for your Valentina.
Or better yet, the fact is maybe Valentina can even turn the tides if she, I don't know, steals an early Decimate from Ray and then looking to take out multiple targets we've seen aggressive teams potentially do towards at least the 3rd or 4th minute.
I think right now having the Valentina itself is already a big pressure onto RSG, right? Telling them, you know what, if you want to go for a roam pick, what kind of roam you want to go for? More on pressure in the early game, or do you want to actually give us big ultimates? As right now, Burn Flash, they already shown their cards. They would want to play front to back. They want to find a way to unlock the 1-1 to make sure that every single one of those weakness points are popped early.
Look at this. We talked about Lolita, right? It was banned out, understandably so. But now we're talking about Phobius. And this is a very Filipino way of drafting for Burn Flash, where maybe the 4th pick for Burn Flash is going to be perhaps a roamer. Then they reserve their last pick for a potential like Esmeralda, so that when they do give up the Phobius, they have another layer to counter it. So that might be the answer here. I feel that Burn Flash will last pick their ATM hero, get maybe something like a Franco perhaps actually, if it's open. Yeah, I think you go Franco here for Burn Flash.
Yeah, no, and this is also an attribute to the fact that they have that flex pick right at the very beginning. So this is why when we see Fredrin right at the start, you have that possibility of the Esmeralda later on. When we come back towards RSG side, right? How do they deal with this? Because at the end of the day, even if they don't get, let's say they don't go for the Phobius, there's pretty much nobody else that really can deal with this Wan.
Yeah, 100%. I think maybe a Yuzhong, but that won't be the best. They picked up the Novaria, great damage of the 1-1 for sure, but they have to have a way to kind of lock down the 1-1. So I'm thinking Minotaur might not be a bad decision, but you know,
for Roamer. But then
Roamer.
again, if anything, the Roamer and the XP between those two, it's the XP that has to be the X factor. It has to be the unique pick.
The Arnold is not available. It's not picked out just yet. It's been leaked out throughout all of the band picks. Diablo is able to play an Arlet, and there could be a possibility that RSG, from the previous game, they played the teamfight comp. This is probably the time that they want Diablo to initiate and funnel more onto Oki, onto the Beatrix.
So it's the Bane instead. So that's a confirmed XP lane Fredrin. Now for RSG, I think they need to secure Franco. was about to say Franco, because it has great synergy with the Beatrix and the Novaria, as you saw in the previous game. So it's definitely just a mirror move from RSG, like they steal the heroes. Wow! Whoa!
That's right. That's the Jawhead making its debut pick, and I have heard down the grapevine that Diablo's packing heat. This was possibly one of those. Wait, are we sure that this is an XP lane? Yeah, that's gotta be an XP lane, Jawhead, right?
I don't know.
I
it
don't
could
know.
technically go into the jungle so you can get early, like,
That's also
again,
true.
get
That's
an
also true.
EXP lead, like a massive EXP lead to keep this 1-1 in place. And then the Atlas to follow up with Burnex Flash. They got the counter engage for team fights.
I last saw a Jawhead XP that really hurt in ranked games. This is gonna be this is gonna be an acquired taste.
Woo! Okay, so I think that it will be the Martis in the jungle, and then you have the XP lane. You have the XP lane Jawhead. I don't know if it's great versus the Fredrin, because Fredrin still has got a knock-up. So it means that your smart missiles might be easily countered by that fact. And also there's a dash from the Fredrin which you get easily. There's so many ways for you to dodge the one-shot combo in the early stages of the Jawhead. So I'm not entirely sure if that will work, but hey, this is Diablo, right?
It's
Who am I to say?
Right? I thought the same thing every single time I see Khalid and Badang.
Yeah,
He's a handsome devil.
He's a handsome devil. He
So-
knows what he's doing.
Here's the question as well, now for Burnex Flash, battle spells.
Ooh, you're right about that. The battle spells is gonna matter, but Leo, take us into the land of Dawn.
That I will. Here we go. If Burnex Flash is able to ride that momentum, they'll be sitting at match point, putting RSGSG way more deeper into that back foot. Let's go and see, finally confirmed. Yeah, no, it's a basic 1-1. It's the Inspire 1-1. So yeah, if Diablo plays his cards right, he can burst down this marksman.
So I haven't seen a lot of Jawhead fights going on. I haven't really seen a Jawhead versus a Fredrin. So what kind of matchup should we be expecting here?
Yeah, like I said, right? It's also unfamiliar to me. I feel that you have a massive wave clear on the Jawhead compared to a Fredrin, just because of the fact that you have the smart missiles. But like I said, you can dodge the one-shot combo of the Jawhead. So what he does now is to actually put some influence in the mid lane instead.
That's a rotation coming in from RSGSG, and the answer from Burnex Flash. It's a man-to-man defense, 2-on-2 up top.
Both of the gold laners from RSG and Burnex Flash, they don't really have a lot of health to work with. As long as a single team from either side decide to really commit to bring down the gold laners, I think that is going to be quite a momentum shift.
And because of RSGSG obliging down bottom, Chama and the gang find a window into taking that small camp. So it's a mirrored movement. So far, no major economic gains on either side.
Yeah.
So I think we're back to square one. I can say RSGSG has reset.
Yeah. By the way, just for the benefit of everyone, let me take you back to January of 2022 when Donut made waves in the Southeast Asian Games qualifier for the Philippines, where he played the 1-1 with the Inspire. He made it famous.
Yep, that was even before it was a thing.
Exactly.
So, a year and change into the metagame, and right after Donut debuted it, suddenly it's one of the worst nightmares in pro play. Once more, folks, do bear with us. We want to make sure that this game is as enjoyable for our athletes, for our competitors, as it is for you watching. So let's wait for our marshals to give a signal to give you a better idea as to what may be getting fixed up here.
Yeah.
Timer should be coming up. Now, we have talked about how the 1-1 should be solved by RSGSG, right? They did open it up. But now, what can they do with their Novaria? Because all the pressure is on them. If you can hear it from our microphones, folks, everybody's cheering for Burnex Flash. The room is orange. Well, literally and figuratively, if you know what I'm saying. But RSGSG, the pressure's on them. They now have the power pick of the Novaria.
Surely, the way that they should be doing this is for pickups. Just really almost the same as that's how Burnex Flash did it.
The main tree, right?
The main tree, exactly. So you want to be fluid, you want to be constantly just applying the pressure on specific parts of the map as three, or maybe, utilize your Jawhead to also give some damage, to output some damage. Problem is, I don't think that they have enough tools to go up against the 1-1, right? Surely you can theory craft that maybe if they get a bite with a Bloody Hunt, maybe they clear out the 1-1 so easily, but it's not going to be easy.
For sure.
I understand that Jawhead has a gap closer in his ultimate, right?
Yep.
However, it's
Unstoppable
not-
force.
Yeah, however, it's not necessarily that far range either. Unstoppable Force he still needs to be relatively close. And looking at Diablo's emblems, he's going for the high and dry. Very possibly he's looking for first item, second item, offensive item.
That's right. Bladed Heptases.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Likely, he is going to have to play off of his flicker timers. And yeah, you mentioned high and dry, previously known as, now called the Master Assassin.
Assassin.
I think Burning Flash knows. Burning Flash understands that that's going to be the dynamic. And I wonder if they have the front line for that.
I think the kiting game is going to be pretty big
Yeah.
and huge for Burnex Flash.
The
Yeah.
main front line for RSG might be Beret with this Martis. That's probably your source, and it's kind of you can outplay the Atlas with that, but because what you want to do is to just literally just stay in front, force out the Atlas to use flicker or perfect match in undesired ways, but that might not be enough,
Folks, in case you're wondering, when was the last time we saw Jawhead and, of course, that cute little girl, Ayn Henry? It was M4, actually. It was in a matchup between
RQ Hoshi.
RQ Hoshi. There you go. It was against RQ Hoshi.
Against. Okay.
It was Onyx who picked it. I hope
Wow.
this is a clearer picture for all of y'all. It was Onyx and RQ Hoshi in the Rome, I believe. I wouldn't want to put it anywhere else. And it was in the lower bracket semis. That was earlier this year.
So essentially, Diablo all by himself have given MSC 3 debut picks.
That's right.
And if this
Look at that
wins, 3 must-ban debut picks.
Yeah. Technically, Diablo has 100% win rate heroes, right? So far, specific picks like Khalid is 100%,
Right.
and then
the
Badang
Badang-
is
oh,
100%.
that's true.
And if he
that is
wins
true.
this, another record for the handsome devil,
The handsome devil.
El Diablo.
El Diablo.
You just added
Devil.
L to the first of his name, but yes.
Hey, it means something right
El
now.
Diablo Guapo. That's the handsome devil.
Is it guapo in? I don't know actually. Is it guapo in?
In Spanish?
Is it
it
guapo
really?
in Philippines? In Filipino?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me
Guapo.
double check that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about how Burnex Flash is
Yeah.
the secretly most aggressive team. Surprisingly most aggressive team here. First in overall kill participation. So together,
Yeah.
they want to burn.
Yeah, together they achieve a lot, and that is actually pretty evident in what they did in previous game. It's not just about the aggression, it's also understanding the map. They're not only aggressive when it comes to kills, they're also aggressive when it comes to like spreading their influence in the map.
Great toss onto D7, but unfortunately that did not yield much dividends. D7 is still capable to join into this upcoming teamfight for the very first turtle. But for RSG, they're coming in from all sides. ATM doesn't really have a lot of help to work with, but he's not going to be the jungler at all for now. But Martis, first one down. That means the retribution is not around. 1 for 2, 2 for 1 right now. This is big.
Oh, big money going over to Burn X Flash. An amazing trade, 2 for 1 plus a turtle on the way out. And this gold lane being a deadlock is good for Burn X Flash despite all the action down bottom.
Yeah, that's because it's a 1-1, and now you can see Donut's special. He went for that play, the aggressive play, because D7 already scouted that long bush on the right side, so he knew that it was a safe way to kind of be aggressive and force out Oki to use the flicker.
Now there's a hook!
And of course, immediately with a bloody hunt down on the D7, Oki expanded out the neighborhood's passion and brings him down.
About a minute and a quarter until this next turtle. So far, ATM and Diablo not moving. Here's that question, right? Earlier we asked, what's this matchup like? I didn't expect it to be such a dead lane.
Yeah, it was pretty much. Because this is probably because of Diablo. What he does is just to clear out the waves, then get into the mid lane, right? You want to roam around the right side of the river, and he's not really trying to fight the Fredrin. And I think that's understandable. Remember when we first studied the draft, Fredrin beat Jawhead. You thought that Fredrin will have so many ways to kind of outplay the Jawhead. So Diablo says, okay, I'm not going to be able to kill you. I'm just going to get to the river.
Yep. What's the advantage if you don't exercise on it? Right? It's just like, okay, you're winning. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna leave.
In the meantime, up in the bottom lane, it does seem as though Diablo spread a little bit too far as they were looking for an assassination attempt. But it does seem as though they were the one assassinated instead.
Wow, this is so poetic. They countered. The Diablo wanted to go for the proxy too early, far too early. Seacat was ready for that, and he copied the decimate, just like Gideon theorized in the drafting stage.
Yep, and here's one weakness that a Jawhead has. He has no way to easily get out.
Yeah.
A lot of sustainable XP laners, well, sustainable is already an accepted part, an expected part of being an XP lane, has that in their kit, but no, D7 survives!
He goes for the flicker out of the hands of Lucian Cutie. The fight is going to be split into two, but the main thing is Bray went for ATM. ATM ran away with just a sliver of health, while Bray finds himself down on the ground, final nail in the coffin.
Well done, Chima. You were probably you thought that ATM would die, but because of the fact that the deadly catch was there, the knockup was more than enough to kind of slow down the pace of both the Martis and the Jawhead. Two heroes that can immediately eliminate one hero, but because of the deadly catch to counter, they slow down the pace. They were able to get the turtle out retreating this Bray Martis and then win the battle afterwards.
But it does seem as though D7 went for a single man pickup onto Lucian Cutie with the fatal links, and Donut finds himself with the weakness proc onto Roy. Roy doesn't really have a lot of help to work with, but Bray moves onto the backlines with the decimate down onto Donut and connects from Roy onto Seacat.
And that's an engagement that Burning Flash thought initially they won, but so far, it looks like there was more space for them to move around closer to mid. And of course, the capitalization from RSG. The past 2 to 3 minutes, I'm guessing RSG is at home here. Despite the early kills on Diablo, and of course, Bray having a tough time being one of the main frontliners. This off by Lucian Cutie!
Right underneath the turret, and Roy comes in from behind. Gets the Astral Sphere sniped onto Chima, but it's not quite enough to bring him down, unfortunately.
All right, so this confirms some of our suspicions that early on in this game, that Bane in Chima's hands will still play very, very sustained. Now ATM very low!
Oh, unstoppable force onto ATM. This is probably the third time that ATM!
Oh!
Speak of the devil, I thought it would be the third time that he runs away, barely breathing. But D7 continues to move on forward with the fatal links that connected on to Roy.
Run, Roy,
Diablo.
run!
Roy, do you even have the time? Will you be able to run away? But no, wasn't able to do so. Seacat joins himself in and brings him down. Oki came in a tad bit too late and wasn't able to capitalize that three-man group up.
Buying time for this next turtle take. It looks like RSG understands that they're also playing on a timer.
100%. I really like that play from Oki. It's really underrated because what he did was to clear the wave. In fact, focus on the lanes so that they can defend their bottom lane turret.
Oh, the bloody hunt down on the Seacat. Diablo as well. Lucian Cutie is just going to be appearing right behind on the main line of Burnex Flash. But Atlas comes in. He will be able to get a kill down onto the Jawhead. ATM finishes off Diablo and finishes off onto Bray. As such, no retribution. This is the second time that Bray did not manage to get much from the turtle.
Oh, here is me thinking that ATM will not have a good time in this game as the X-Blade favorite, but my oh my, he survived once again, was able to pop the ultimate after the fact that they already received so much damage coming out from RSG. Then they win the turtle fight once again. It was ATM just landing the perfect usage of the taunt so that they will catch two people, and then of course Chima will be the one to deal up damage.
Lucian Cutie face checks into the brush where Chima is, but at least it's gonna be A-okay. He's not dead just yet.
All right, it looks like RSGSG's comfort earlier in the aggression in the trading was going for them, but wait, D7!
It doesn't seem like the Fiddling did much onto Diablo, but the entire team of Burnex Flash pushed themselves on forward in order to secure the second tier.
Was that an unstoppable force dodge?
Yes. Yes,
that was
great. It was a pushback.
Pixel perfect.
So yeah, this shows that Diablo has been using this. This shows that Diablo knows the extent of the kit that one Jawhead has. And as I was saying, right, this false sense of comfort that RSG was allowed to have, given by Burnex Flash, is now going to hurt more as we go into the mid-game spike. Because, yes, you are getting hooks. Yes, you are missing out on these massive fatal links, but re-engage potential is huge on Burn X Flash right now.
100%. Really liking how both teams are playing. In fact, it's like a RSG SG almost losing the entirety of the early game but recovers. But now the recovery was back in the hands of Burn X Flash now being aggressive. This is the Cambodian aggression we were talking about. It was also 9 minutes in the previous game, so maybe now this is the timer for Burn X Flash.
Something I'm wondering is Bray slowly getting overloaded because, again, it's odd to say that as a Martis, you're one of the first to face check, you're one of the first to actually front line. Don't you want to be a finisher too? Because, again, Diablo's having a hard time as well.
Well, unfortunately, that is the draft decision coming out from RSG. They went in for a killer type of XP laner, which kind of means that all of the vision that you need, all of the presence or the front line will now come from the jungle. Surely they have the Novaria for extra vision, but nobody can check the bush all the time except the Martis.
And now with this power spike, again, that 9-minute timer shows that Burn X Flash are making moves on the map, and RSG Slate SG forced to respond.
Bray has been spotted out, but a mortal call gets himself running away. Burn X Flash now have got a priority over the Lord, and I'm pretty sure that RSG will not challenge this.
Akun Bong says Burn X Flash is as free as it gets. Lord scored by them. Again, it's shades of game 1.
With the fatal link down and connect on the Lucian Cutie. Lucian Cutie expends the flicker and gets himself out of the hands of Burn X Flash.
That was interesting. I could have sworn Lucian was gonna die.
Yeah. But then again, this is still a massive win.
Whoa.
See that? Oh, that's massive. They know where Diablo is. They can smell him.
They know! As Diablo immediately tossed ATM backwards. 4-man poker game. Down at the bottom, all in.
Oh, and D7 survived also. Does have the immortality, and now it's going to be safe. And again, another good macro play coming out from Burn X Flash at 9 minutes. Once again, just like in the previous game, they were able to get the first Lord by utilizing D7's presence. Just the perfect match, and the second skill is enough. The first skill, I mean, is enough to fend off Bray, especially because the rest of the gang will not be prepared for the defense of the Lord.
Oh, yikes. One good thing is at least RSGSG are getting their resources. There's waves coming in, there's XP, there's gold. But at what point can we see this actually swinging closer to equal, right? Or this gold lead shrinking. It's at 6K right now, and they're gonna go for the top lane push.
Good hook coming in from Lucian Cutie in order to bring Burn X Flash into and within their walls. But it doesn't seem like he will be able to do quite much right now. As Lucian Cutie is going to be taken up at the front line. Bray as well as the whole lineup of RSG moves on forward. Burn X Flash with 2 casualties.
Oh, there's the answer. The simplest way to go from point A to B is a straight line. Defend inside your base, have the strength of your artillery, meaning your inhibitor turrets, and punish.
Yeah, it's really just telegraphed coming out from RSG, and you can see that Burn X was definitely overstayed their welcome on the base. Look at the defense. Look at how good the Bloody Hunt is. The catch, I mean, sorry.
The wave clear is so fast coming in from Burn X Flash. That's a 4-man rush down in the mid, and Shamar just needs to throw out the baby chucks.
Yep, and they understand that they flubbed that push. They understand that that siege could have gone so much better. So now, this is again recovery mode. The first time in a while that RSGSG are on the offensive. They've left their base, and they're making plays on the upper quarter.
Okay, so now it is RSG's lane definitely survived the first part of the rotation.
Sure about this. Oh, never mind. The amount of damage is actually amazing from RSG. But ATM, they even have to use the conceal in order to get that movement speed. Oki is now in safe territory. He's around Lucian Cutie. He's around Bray as well. Unfortunately, Diablo, I cannot say the same for him.
1-man fatal links. That is just vengeance. That is just punitive justice.
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that they traded for Explain, honestly, Burn X Flash are really happy, very happy with that trade. Even when they lose, when they have lost their turret up top, the fact that they are not getting punished is gonna be good for their lineup that snowballs now. But my oh my, Donut. You gotta be careful with your positioning.
Yeah, no, Roy is slowly coming online at about 13 minutes in with this Luminous Lord spawning. That gold lead shrunk by about a third, now sitting about 3.5K, closer to 4K. This is as close to 50-50 as it gets for a Lord this game too.
Okay. I'm not too sure about this lost dance, but it seems as though Lucian Cutie is just gonna be starting things off with a hook down onto ATM. Burn X Flash threw everything out, or rather, they got themselves out of hiding. RSG knew that that will happen.
Shama with the pull. but the majority of Burnex Flash members are very low, and there's Lucian Cutie with a bite!
And it doesn't seem like Burnex Flash will be doing all to take that back! Every single one of the members from RNG and Burnex Flash, they are going all in! Wobble combo, Ooga Booga, Donut is not even good! And Donut is just gonna be struck down! 4-man from the side of Burnex Flash, taken down while Oki, the only fatality!
Donut Airlines failed to take off, and RSGSG capitalized. That's a lord over to the Singaporeans, and Burnex Flash suffers 4 deaths.
Lucian Beauty with a wonderful snag, and even after the knockup coming up from the Lord, it was a great setup for the Fatal Licks, but they didn't have damage because you can see that Oki was intact with the Fatal Licks, so he was able to still output the damage. Burnex Flash suffered to the mysterious fashion, and afterwards they wanted to die onto Donut, but Roy was there to stop Donut from flying, and we are going to see it in the instant replay once again.
And it started with the bite. It started with the bite, and they tried to go for the clap
What's
back,
that,
right? Oki was just so well placed. Donut was late 2 seconds.
Yep.
That's why he couldn't take to the skies.
Exactly, and Roy on point with that Astro Spear. And now, maybe Donut will eventually think about maybe getting something like a Rose Gold Meteor, in fact, so that at least he will survive the first burst coming up from RSG.
Yeah, got a pair of pants.
Get a pair
and
of
then
pants.
That's not the Legion Sword is not
yet.
a Rose Gold Meteor item element.
So that might be one of the considerations now for Burnex Flash. And big props to Oki on actually the fight. Had it not been for Donut having the Wind of Nature, it would have been perfect for RSG. He still managed to win the fight for the team though.
As now from D7 goes over to the back line, they managed to catch Oki! And that is win condition from RSG taken away. RSG knew that they can't exactly take this fight, but Diablo is still sticking around somewhere. D7 has scouted out on the Diablo. They're making a full-on retreat. Where's the damage from RSG? Can they even stay on for this fight?
Oh, but look at this, the angle from Lucian Cutie. Coming in with the bite!
Flicker! As well, the bloody hunt! Roy takes a kill down on the zone with a decimate, but Roy coming in from the side, he immediately wants to throw off with the Astrosphere. He comes in from the C-Cat, not the ATM, not the right person that he wants, but at least both sides, they have tallied out the fight. Oki's coming back, but Donut not quite yet. The Flicker, or rather Diablo, is just immediately jumping right in, and they manage to catch one. C-Cat continues to stay in the team fight. Shaman is just pushing everyone else out. C-Cat with only a sliver. He does have the immortality, but I don't think that they got any much ways to actually catch up to him.
So sweaty. Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure ATM's life just flashed back before his very eyes. Same for C-Cat, but luckily he had an immortality. This all started with a conceal into a bloody hunt play from Lucian Cutie. He bit down on Donut, the perfect target. That's visual right there.
Oh, that was a massive win, I would say, for RC. Even after the fight that you saw that they lost the Diablo afterwards, but they actually popped important immortalities. For example, popping out on C-Cat. ATM doesn't have his own immortality as well.
C-Cat inside his base!
Exactly. And this means that, theoretically speaking, RSG, SG, they will have more resources heading into the next Lord.
I think that's safe to say. Here in Cambodia, they drive on the right side of the street. This time around, how about you flip that around, because it's the Singaporeans now who are in the driver's seat. They're about 1,000 gold ahead. They have vision, and they're first to the scene, and now ATM!
They can actually melt him down!
They popped him!
Oki's damaged though!
And literally, you can see Lucian just literally checking the bushes with the iron hook, and he found the fruit. And that fruit was ATM.
That's just the cute one, just doing his job.
Oh, for
sure. So far, thank you for your service. He's sitting at 0, 2, and 12. If in game 1 we won off the back of these 7s, Franco, maybe RSG can get this!
And Fatal Links is just gonna be connected down, but unfortunately they will lose the opportunity to challenge the Lord. But right now, Lucian Cutie, he drives every single one of the members from the start, but next flies away.
Wow,
and Diablo
what a toss!
throws him away! And Oki takes the kill down onto Donut. Bray leading the charge with Oki onto the artillery. Roy is behind as well. They are shoving the entirety of Burnex Flash away.
The cute and handsome connection.
Handsome connection.
Did you see that?
Diablo with the injector to defend his teammate, and that actually put Donut in a very bad spot. He was, not only did he save his teammate, he got a kill for the team. My God, the handsome devil.
The kind of utility there you can find from a Jawhead, but perhaps we'll be able to see a little bit more as Lucian Cutie drops off with the bloody hunt on the D7. D7 goes behind the 3-man Fatal Links. Expended the immortality coming from the side of Bray and Lucian Cutie. C-Cat continues on through with a double decimate. He puts himself down. the Drunken. It's gonna be A-okay. But Burnex Flash, they lost 3 inhibitor turrets, but at least they survived this game.
Bye! That's 3 in Kamai! He got triple kill, and now there's another fight!
They want to continue on to this fight. Diablo joins into the fray, toss ATM away, but D7 wasn't able to continue from this fray.
Alright, it's interesting how RSG are still picking fights, despite just there being 2 left. Oh, this is a 5-man push! This could be it!
A 5-man push right down. D7 wants to proxy in between and will want to stop Roy as well as Double from doing anything at all. The deadly cap pushes right on, and Donut hammered down on the crystal!
And in a flash, Burn X Flash take us to match point.
Momentum is not on their side for sure. They've just lost the Donut, their main win condition. But the local player, D7, says, I won't rely on an import to win this match for myself. I'm gonna take it. 3-man Fatal Exam, the most important one, taking out Oki first. And they won it.
And it's an absolutely spectacular game.
It's spectacular.
I still can't believe what I saw. That C-Cat jumping on the 3. Decimate.
That's big. And the amount of time for RSG to even recover from that, there just wasn't any.
Okay, maybe it's the fact that RSG didn't need to recover, made them think they can win more, and overstayed in mid.
They have the advantage. The main win condition, the 1-1 wasn't there.
That's right, and it should have been the green light.
That was definitely green light, but they definitely doubted the fact that the Valentina with the Decimate is actually pretty deadly. Typically, you want to go for a steal on a big ultimates, right?
Bloody Hunt
whatsoever,
yes.
but Decimate, who would have thought that it is enough? By the way, you convert to magical damage anyways, so you are definitely deadly.
Gideon, what do you think?
I think this is one of the big trivia questions everybody's been asking, with a single question being posed by RSG. The answer back from Burn X Flash, and every single time you see a cool play from one of these roles, the opposing team will do exactly the same. You thought Roy was a problem, C-Cat's the problem. When you think, okay, he's gonna make it out of there, then you see Wan push back. It's a beautiful day for Mobile Legends, but at the end of it, Burn X Flash at match point, you can see the look on the cute one's face. They played out of their minds, but it's a very, very small margin of error here. So small.
And you know, you can argue about like all of the theories that we have when it comes to the macro, when it comes to the gameplay, but in the end, it was just one Fatal Links connecting and the chain of Decimate that happened. So there was a lot of like good stuff that both teams did. That's very smart plays, especially with both of their conceals. But in the end, it was, you know, just having overload of the Fatal Links, it will be enough.
Let's look at our MVP here. It's going to be C-Cat. What a game, a saving play right at the end. When you think that it all was about to crumble, C-Cat is able to bring them back from the brink, and finally he's able to get something going for him. I've been waiting for C-Cat to make a play like this for so long, but notice even his items, making sure that he has that Guardian's helmet. He does not want to get one shot.
No, not just. He also wants to keep up the engagement. He will steal an ult, get in there, take 2 or 3 seconds off, and then fight again. That's what we saw from C-Cat.
It's like an endless rotation that you want to see from C-Cat. Go in, come out, wait for a while, go back in with the same rotation.
Well, I hate to use a word that I already used in the previous game. It was fluid. So macro-wise, they were fluid in game number 1, but this time you saw C-Cat, the rhythm was just so good. And this is also one of the great plays. He gets a double kill afterwards, right? Waited for the right moment, and then there will be another play that he will again copy the Decimate, which was perfect. This was that play. They got him again, continuously just being unstoppable in this game. You would think that the damage output will come from the 1-1. Well, guess what? It is coming from the Valentina. And I like the fact that we saw this in-game because it's perfect. Gideon actually mentioned this before the draft, right? And now we see it. Now you know why Valentina can actually copy the Marty's ultimate.
It's so good. It's so very good, but she's good in all situations. Even in that previous highlight, we saw her take the unstoppable force, something that Diablo has honestly shown real great prowess on.
That?
But look at the these beautiful plays like D7 is coming in so huge in a lot of these moments. And the one that made it all happen in the finisher CCAT to eventually put him down to match point. Look at that. Oh, and they follow it up. Beautiful plays all across the board from both teams.
I can even see that D7 tried to isolate the Diablo, but it wasn't needed in the end anyways. No wave clear. That's the maybe that's what we can say is the problem for the Navaria. The wave clear isn't as good as something like a Farsa or maybe an Eve. But I would say Roy played so well this game. You could have sworn that he might be even the MVP if RSG won this game.
Honestly, there were a lot of flash of brilliances.
I agree.
Coming in from Burnex Flash and RSG. They all split together, split up really darn well. We've got, I mean, there's just so many highlights that this game itself is something that we should steer people into watching.
If you showed me a screenshot from about 17, 18 minutes, I would have said this was all RSG. We're going to 1-1, especially with the way the cute one has been performing. He was coming in, conceal, fligger, bite down on Donut. It's the perfect target, right? But I'm wondering where it all broke down. I'm wondering where it came up short and that allowed our Burnex Flash to catch RSG off guard. Was it all in just that one moment in mid? Was it all in just CCAT seeing all of these low HPs and like, I'm going to hold on to Decimate until the time is right? Was that all?
Honestly speaking, I would truly believe that was the case because every single time we saw tempo being taken away from a team, an instant response was coming on the opposite side. It's not like RSG wasn't put in the exact situation. Oki fell first, but yet they decided, you know what? We're going to bite down on this Beatrix and turn it around. And that was the big setup for that final moment.
And it's also because of the fact that everybody's just trying to outplay each other. Like, it was I would say it was a tug of war, right? It was perfect. Like, everybody's just trying to pull away. And then, unfortunately, RSG, they let go of the rope in the last moment just because Burnex Flash found the right timing to pull and tug that rope.
It kind of seems as though Burnex Flash is exhibiting RSG's a false sense of comfort. Atlas was just not that comfortable running backwards, and the sudden flicker plus the Fatal Links just not that comfortable running backwards, and the sudden flicker plus the Fatal Links just not that comfortable running backwards, and the sudden flicker plus the Fatal Links
to solve the macro that the Burnex Flash is doing.
I think I agree with Wolf on this one. I mean, I love the small little details that we saw for like Jawhead able to, you know, throw the perfect match away just so that your entire team doesn't get hit. The unstoppable force to stop the Fatal Links at the very least. That was so cool to see.
Or even the unstoppable force fake out, right? To disengage.
That was
It's brutal.
We're into match.
It's brutal.
We're into match point now.
I hate to be abstract in this table. RSG made a lot of fans. Burnex Flash, 100% sure this is not the Burnex Flash we saw in the group stages. Maybe some hits, for sure. But the aggression coming out from the Cambodians this time is more fluid and more calculated. And I think that they will reach greater heights because of the way that they are playing this. If they do advance to the next stage and play like this, man, they have a straight up chance.
All right, Abstract, I hate to put you on the spot here, but even in MPL SG Season 5 playoffs, right? RSG have never been pushed this hard.
No, not
What's
at all.
going on? What could be churning? What would Coach Kuja be saying right now?
To be honest, right now, what they had before, Cindy Lucas worked a lot onto the kind of like the drafts. They focus a lot onto those fundamentals that Cindy Lucas put on. But Kuja comes in with a completely different tactic. He works more on the macro game. So RSG may be pretty much having a lot of problems in the battlefield within of the Land of Dawn. I think Kuja may be able to find some answers to what Burn X Flash has been doing after losing twice in a row and just nail it in the coffin.
Here's the thing, there's a very fine line with macro play overall, and more importantly, how to kind of turn that into raw aggression. There were a couple of moments that we could have probably seen RSG turn the tides and look for that momentum, because again, a lot of these off-tempo plays coming in from Burn X Flash really came down to who was the pick, what resources are available, and even when RSG, they're looking for that big green flag, they need to start bobbing and weaving, finding that fine balance between how do I cut you right at the tendons and not just simply throwing my knives.
It's gonna be, that's difficult equally. But if you think about it this way, maybe this could be the approach from RSG. We almost won that game. We just have to fix our positioning and maybe just fix what. Just don't get hit by the Atlas, which is not that easy. But I think you understand here for RSG. What if, instead of taking that as a loss, maybe just look at it this way that they just made a mistake and fix that, they can win in the next 3 games.
So would you suggest that they stick to the same kind of game plan / the same kind of composition? I mean, I personally love the Jawhead, but I would love to see more the build picks coming in from Diablo.
Okay. I'd like to just reel that back in and say, solve the macro.
Solve the macro.
Solve the macro, because again, that's what Burn X Flash is presenting.
Yep.
You can't just, you can't beat fire with fire, you can't beat fire with fire with this case, especially when the fire is as harsh and as powerful as Burn X Flash is right now, especially in Cambodia. So I'd say solve that first on a fundamental level.
Yep.
And then we go ham, right?
Yeah.
Just to build on, bobbing and weaving, moves and grooves. A good friend of ours would say.
Oh,
well,
I missed that guy.
I missed that guy too. But with that being said, here currently match point for Burn X Flash. It's looking great for the Cambodian Warriors as RSG is going to be back to their analyzing. So in the meantime, let's throw it over to both Rebby as well as Mara back on the big screen. What are they doing? What you up to?
Ravi and I are here with Ripple and Mirko. So just in case you guys don't know, he was part of RSG Malaysia and silver medalist for the recently concluded SEA Games 2023. How are you doing?
I'm doing good right now. I am very excited because I got to go here and watch this match against RSG versus Burn X Flash. Yeah.
Are you close with the players?
Yeah. Some of the Diablo, only Diablo and Lucian.
I thought you almost forgot their name.
How close it is? How close it is?
Not that close, but a little bit knowing each other lah.
Okay, I see. So that's why I wonder why you are here.
Yeah, were you there earlier with them? Did you get to spend a little bit of time with them?
No, just meet up with Diablo. I hoping he using his badang, but already
it got banned, bro.
Yeah, 2 games. Woo.
អូខេឥឡូវនេះយើងឃើញថា Repo បានមកនៅកន្លែងនេះឈរនៅកន្លែងនេះគឺមិនមែន support team Cambodia ទេប៉ុន្តែ support team Singapore ហើយគាត់ពិតជាមាន relation close ជាមួយមិន close ណាទេប៉ុន្តែ close ជាមួយនៅខាង Singapore អញ្ចឹងគាត់នឹងក្លាយទៅជា fan របស់ Singapore ទោះបីជាដឹងថាតើឥឡូវនេះ result ទៅជាបែបណាក៏ដោយ
Okay, now we know why Repo is here because he's part of RSG. Mirko actually stood up and wanted to support him. Okay, I thought you're a different team. What's up?
But I support a certain team in Indonesia. It's called Bigatron, and this man right here, he comes from Bigatron. So anywhere they go, I follow. Yes.
Thank you very brotherhood.
Much. Okay, you know what? Looking at that game number 2, I really thought that RSGSG had it. What happened? What's going on? What do you think happened?
I don't know, maybe because they less of the discipline, so that's why their MM got caught with the Atlas. So for me, the first one is very cold, and then the second game they got heated, and then third game maybe I think they will got very heat. Engine started to beat the burn. Okay, យើងឃើញថាឥឡូវនេះ
match ទី1និង match ទី2គឺកម្ពុជារបស់យើងបានឈ្នះទៅលើសិង្ហបុរីហើយឥឡូវនេះអ្វីដែល Repo គាត់បានលើកឡើងគាត់ថាប្រហែលជាមកពីមិនទាន់ចោះសម្រងជាមួយនឹងការលេងឬមួយក៏នៅខ្វះចំណុចណាមួយដែលធ្វើឲ្យពួកគាត់មិនអាចយកឈ្នះកម្ពុជារបស់យើងបានអញ្ចឹងនៅចុងទី3 match ក្រោយនេះថាតើនឹងទៅជាយ៉ាងណាគឺសង្ឃឹមទៅលើសិង្ហបុរីធ្វើឲ្យបានល្អបំផុត
All right. Now is your chance. The players right now can't talk to Burnex Flash. They don't have a mic, but you have a mic. What do you want to say to Burnex Flash?
For Burn,
Yeah, what do you want to say?
maybe you can at least be a gentleman to release Badang and Khalid if you dare.
Wow.
Release
What he
Badang.
means is, don't be a nerd. Let Badang and Khalid go, yeah?
Yeah.
Let
be a
Diablo
man.
be a man. Okay.
Oh, okay. How about you, Mirko? Do you have a message?
Yo, Burn, I love you guys, man. But, make it interesting. I don't want a 3-0. Maybe 3-2, 3-1. Come on, just,
Okay, now playing for the recently concluded SEA Games, we know how much pressure that is. Now, as a okay.
Oh,
Whoa.
we have
a Burnex
opportunity
Flash fan. What's going on?
Wow.
What's going on?
Ripple, where's Deblo? Where is Deblo?
Oh.
Where's Deblo?
Where?
Is
Where?
Deblo right here? I don't see him.
Oh, you don't see. Oh, what did
where's
you have
that
to
Are you
say?
going to take that, Repo? Are you going to take that?
What did he say?
He said, where's Diablo?
Where's
It's
Diablo?
okay. It's okay. Wait. You say where's Diablo?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't bring my silver medalist.
Just some kind of check your pocket. See?
He didn't
Can you
bring
see
a
here?
silver medal. Okay.
Where's Deblo?
Where?
He's
Where?
over there right now. He's getting ready.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. But I have something for you. Wait, look.
It's hard.
How much pressure do you think the players are feeling right now? Because they cannot lose one more.
For me, they already feeling much more better at the stage because that maybe the first and the second game they very afraid. Maybe I
Very
don't know. So maybe this third game will be more. For example, what?
Better. That's what he's going to
Complete
say.
the sentence, Mirko.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
I'll complete it. I'll be LaFell, okay? RSG are going to reverse sweep Burnex Flash. That's what he said. And this is exactly what will happen, according to Repo. Not me, Repo.
Oh, all right. So what they're saying right now is they're gonna do a reverse sweep. We're gonna see how true that is. So we're gonna go back to our casters to see the world.
What a personality. What a guy. Both Minglin as well as Ripo Mirko just there to enjoy the air that both of them breathe, apparently. What a clap back response.
Mengli did not know what he was walking into, man. He was looking for Diablo. Ripple was looking for silver medal. Apparently got lost somewhere on the way here. So
Wow. That was spicy.
Repo has been one of the what do you call pop-offs or celebrations. Yeah,
Yes.
it's one of the best. I remember the cat. It was one of the top-tier celebrations in the world of Mobile Legends, and I didn't think that he can actually also talk like that and really just rip everybody apart.
Look, they call him the king of taunts in Malaysia. The fact is, he's just a really good personality through and through. But with that being said, let's talk about this upcoming game because, again, very bold words from Ripple, expecting a reverse sweep from the side of RSG against Burnex Flash. And I would say bold, especially with the sea of Cambodians watching this.
He said that. He said that.
He said that, not me. He said that.
And then I'm so happy to see the king of taunts here, Raja Taunt, right? Growing his repertoire. Right?
Yeah.
He's no longer just doing body language because of the camera, but also he's using his words. He said, be a gentleman, and release Khalid and Badang.
Will they, though? Let's be serious here. I mean, it has worked out so well for Burnex Flash. With the absence of Badang as well as Khalid, this is gonna be a tough fight for RSG. They're gonna have to pull the aces within their sleeves, and if they don't bring out Uranus, I don't know what else they would.
Personally, for me, I don't. If I was in Burnex Flash's position, Heck no, I'm not gonna let it through.
Yeah, 100%,
Gentlemen's
100%.
agreement. What's that? This is competition
Yep.
at the end of the day. I think that the main issue right now is that mid lane control. I feel that like Novaria kind of bandages the situation, but it doesn't solve the problem.
Yep.
Priority is going to be key. Whoever leaves that lane first usually walks away with a kill in the side lanes.
Yeah, I just don't wish that Diablo will just go for a sustain kind of here. Like, surely you will. I'm one of the Uranus spammers out here, and I do agree with you. Uranus could be picked up, but then again, you want to look for impact plays from Diablo himself because you just see how well RSG can perform if there's someone that can do and make those outplays, and that might not come from a hero like Uranus, for example, right?
But what about Yu Zhong though? What about El Diablo Dragon?
I haven't seen him play the Yu Zhong for a long time.
He has to pick it up,
right?
Yeah, I
You
believe
can't just
so.
ask Lucian Curie to find Donut all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it
right.
pretty much fits within the MO of what Diablo has been playing, right? All the heroes that he has played so far more or less have got great wave clear, getting himself the lane priority time and time again. So honestly, I wouldn't doubt the fact that he could go on to the Yu Zhong, and that way, they actually managed to solve quite a bit of a problem, which is to reach the back line safely.
And I think you want to minimize that margin of error as much as you can, especially when Burn X Flash is at that match point. I was thinking like, wait, maybe we might be able to see one of his, signature Paquito picks, but Burn X Flash, they know it for a fact. The fact that they went for that first pick in that Fredrin just to deny him as that flex pick, because Paquito into Fredrin in the EXP lane is honestly, to me, feels like a waste of time. You get nowhere in that lane.
I agree. I think there's a lot of focus on the Fredrin for sure because of the value that you get out of it when you first pick it, for example, because it's a flex pick, and that's definitely what we saw from the previous game. And I thought that ATM would not have a good time with that hero, but by my exceeded my expectations, was able to sustain for the team in front line even as the XP laner.
Yeah. More importantly, he didn't die. He escaped death for
So many
5 minutes straight. It was nuts. So let's see whether that's going to be the same situation as we get into the draft. This is match point for Burn X Flash. Let's see how RSG is going to respond.
I wonder if there will be changes when it comes to the picks. Oh, there's the Fredrin, there's the Faramis. Personally, I love this combo. But then again, you have one end as well as this Novaria. RSG are getting the top tier heroes.
I mean, this is a top tier hero, but how exactly are they going to maneuver, right? They've got the Wan. They've already got Roy's signature. He's been doing such a phenomenal job on this Novaria, and I love the response from Burn X Flash, right? Have the Claw to jump into that backline, really start chunking down the Novaria, and more importantly, the farm is, even if the Call Altar isn't going to be the most effective in the world, at least you could save a couple of members.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The Fredrin Faramis, one of my favorites. Very much when it comes to it's a totally like a OBS kind of strategy wherein you just literally try to engage all the time. And typically the answer to that is the Benedetta.
Interesting.
Wow.
We're reverting.
Wow.
To game number 1.
Yeah, we're going back to what RSG is comfortable with. And I get it, I understand the sentiments here. Coach Kuja doesn't want to force anything that they're not ready to bring out yet.
Right.
And now you can see here, what is the cute one willing to play here? How do they go through? Would a Lolita look good here?
Lolita is going to be I would say the only answer that will be left for RSG, but it might be banned out. You see Franco, you heard that was a Franco ban,
yes.
Which means that they're now eyeing for Roam bans coming up from Burn X Flash, and Lolita will definitely be next because it's the only thing that will stop this Claude from being a menace.
I mean, we say that, but then there's also Minotaur as well as Grok as well, and I mean, it really depends on what flavor that they want and what interactions they want to achieve.
Okay, so far, just looking back at the group stage, Minotaur into Faramis is actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Extremely decent in a matter of fact. And let's not forget that this Fredrin may not necessarily go into the jungle, right? For all we know, we could get potentially even a Grok to go in towards that side lane and maybe show up to try and punish. Oh, Kufra.
Well, it's Solution Special.
Yes.
It's Solution Special. So
the Qf one.
Okay.
I haven't seen Cho onto Lucian Cutie for a long time. I do want to see a little bit more of that pick off, especially since they would want to open up the maps a little bit more and try to take dominance of the river line.
Oh, so that's the Minotaur. You don't want it to be picked up by Burn X Flash as well, so that's why they pick it up as for now.
A good call.
very good call.
But maybe that's why they banned out the Kufra, because they want Lolita for themselves. It was either or Minotaur or the Lolita. So I don't know. Maybe Burn X Flash might go for it. It's a little tough to say because it is Wan.
Oh! Natalia!
It's a D7 special as well.
It is.
And it's a debut pick here in MSC 2023. And the answer.
Okay, it's going to be Alpha.
All right, so the Alpha jungle is there to answer the Arlott and the Fredrin.
Yep.
But is the CC enough to kind of stop and dilute the extra life that Cult Alter gives?
And let's not forget that Natalia can punish the Alpha in the jungle itself, because generally he has to try and sustain the damage, but if he silences it, he gets one shot, how does he really get ahead?
This is going to be difficult. So that kind of means that this Minotaur will have to carry most of the problems, most of the problem solving, in the early stages. Solve the Natalia, solve some of the tankiness, and he cannot do everything.
This seems like there's a lot of job for Lucian Cutie in this game.
It is a tough and difficult job for him. Maybe there's a way, a certain interaction, or more importantly, the way that they maintain these lanes that's going to make a difference. But I think it's time we start getting into the land of law. Dawn, Leo, take it away.
It's all or nothing for RSG Slate SG from here on end. To even see a Game 4, they have to do everything right. Let's get to it. Burn X Flash threatening the sweep. All or nothing.
Both sides of the team are starting off at the orange buff. A little bit different from what I would expect, thinking that Alpha will start at the orange or at the purple buff in order for them to actually apply a little bit more pressure at the end of bring down the orange and the purple so that they can help the gold lane. That's what I thought.
But wait, it looks like there's the answer here. A pull onto Diablo. Interesting. I wonder if they got what they wanted out of that rotation.
Yeah, it's weird. But then again, it's always the question of where will you first rotate if you're the Natalia? Typical answer is to the jungle. But this time, Burn X Flash decided to put that Natalia into the XP lane. RSG, interestingly, had 2 of their heroes in the XP lane.
Also interesting to note, we are going back to what Diablo's used to. Execute on the Benedetta. Bray, though.
He's just going to be jumping in right onto Shamar as well as ATM. He jumps himself away with his ultimate, but unfortunately, this is a collapse from the side of Burn X Flash. They bring Bray down, and unfortunately wasn't able to do quite much. Diablo, eye for an eye, connects, and that is going to be a stun. And Roy comes in from behind to snipe D7 away as well. A valuable trade.
Oh my, Diablo rocking the execute.
That's right.
It did not work in the first time. I mean, the Petrify didn't work, but this time against a sustained kind of composition where you want to heal up, you execute them first before they are able to put themselves back to 100.
And again, this brings us back to our theory. Going into the draft, going into Game 3, Coach Kuja allowing RSGSG to play what they know, to play within that space, to try and claw themselves back into a possible reverse sweep. First turtle spawned here. RSGSG, a small lead, about 400 gold. Brave first to the scene. Roy sniping them out. This is a 3v2 potentially. Make it a 3v3 now. 4v3.
Immediately, ATM doesn't really have a lot of help to work with, but the Cult Alter will be able to extending the life of the side of Burn X Flash just by a tad little bit. RSG takes the turtle for themselves, as now Lucian Cutie as well as Bray would want to get themselves away as fast as they can. Lucian Cutie expends his flicker. Bray finds it. Oh! A very important life steal, but it doesn't seem like he will be able to keep himself long enough. As now ATM with the final slash pulls Lucian Cutie deeper into their own jungles. He's not able to bring him down though. Diablo continues his onslaught of ATM, and he successfully brings him down.
That's the unbending will doing work. The less life you have, the more damage you deal. But D7 knew, D7 understood, and he said, you are never safe as long as I'm around.
Natalia enters the land of Dawn as she debuts in MSC 2023 and then gets a kill onto Diablo. A very important one. This is so trippy. This game is so trippy because this is the only game where you are going to see 2 executes in the modern meta that we have right now. And I'm happy.
It's good. I like it. The fact that team fights and bodies may drop in a flash, all puns intended, makes for amazing swingy team fights. So yeah, the margin of error has not only shrank for RSGSG, but allowed Burnex Flash to be more creative. I'm not so sure if this is how you want to approach a possible sweep.
RSG seems as though they're trying to get a lot of fight in the southern side of the map. They do not want to, find too many different variables over to the top side. They want to leave 1-1 and Claude alone. In the meantime, just bolstering their jungler, or perhaps bolstering Diablo.
In the past 4 minutes, it has been a very quiet gold lane. Now, here in mid, you see Cat. Oh, catches a little bit from Roy. An interesting bush that D7 kept there. Interesting. I wonder what he was planning.
Yeah. Call it the Crammer's bush because the Crammer is there. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of a downtime, I want to say that the engage comp coming out from the side of Burnex Flash, even when they have the Natalia, the 4 other members can engage as 4. And that will mean that we are waiting for a timing, which typically happens at 9 minutes for Burnex Flash.
Here we go. The jump in. That Spear about to start up.
And of course, with the Minoan's Fury, Minoan's Rage just gonna be popping right up. D7 gets a kill down onto Roy. And Diablo was hoping he'll be able to get away from the hands of ATM. But let's be honest here, the amount of dashes is just a little bit too much as D7 comes in to pincer maneuver.
A clear win for the hometown heroes in Burnex Flash. Up ahead now by about 700 gold.
Yeah. It was funny, I just said that it will be a 4-man engage, and indeed it was. They utilized all their members, but my oh my, D7 had a great shot at Novaria. He waited for the Astral Recall to end before he went in, and he had a one-shot potential because of the execute. You saw how big of a problem that was. Maybe this is a time where we find out a weakness for the Novaria.
And that's the story of game 1 even, game 2 rather, given the fact that there was so much space played with, there was so much of a threat of a backline push, and who'd have thought it would come from a roamer this time around in D7. Watch where he is right now, threading the needle here, playing around the river.
I really thought that there would be a lot more emphasis from Natalia onto the 1-1, but perhaps because of all of the team fights that is happening in the southern side of the map, Natalia is pretty much forced to be present in all of these fights, keeping 1-1 in an even lane against Donut.
And they're trying to equalize that back. Here's a jump!
Doesn't seem like Zca's gonna go down anytime soon, as they do have the Cold Altar. Donut actually got clipped by the Astrosphere, but Donut, he tried to go in to clear things out a little bit, but he gotta have to go home.
Okay, so between the Cult Altar and of course, wait, in mid, Diablo lives. All right, I was gonna say, despite there being executes and the Cult Altar, the motivational roar, the Spear of Alpha from Bray, there's gonna be a lot of nothing team fights here. There's gonna be a lot of like, oh, in, okay, we're gonna go out, go back. I wonder what that spells out for the gold laners, since both of them want to get to that mid power spike.
I think it's great that's how you want to play if you're playing the Claude. You want the extended team fights. But when it comes to the 1-1, the fact that you're not eliminating members, it means that your ultimate will not transfer from one to the other. That's really the reason why Paramis is a good hero to kind of counter the 1-1, because it doesn't allow your teammates to be killed during that state. So what I'm trying to say here is the Cult Altar and the 1-1 timing is very crucial.
Oh, here's a pull coming in from Chama. It's for Burnex Flash, all of them to take.
It doesn't seem like the Minotaur is going to be anywhere here. And now we do have Chama that takes down the turtle. Diablo finds himself under the threat of ATM, and D7 came in from behind, punishes both Roy and Diablo.
Suddenly, a quick take from the turtle leads into 2 kills, and now we are living in Burnex Flash country, quite literally, and also in-game, but there is a trade. Okay, able to push up top.
Yep.
Where else can they find a trade? Because suddenly, you can see now Chama is also going ahead.
Yeah, the purple.
Committing, grant that purple here.
Oh, they took the purple, and this is already very bad for Bray. Surely that the takedown on the turret up top is great when it comes to the economy of RSG, but now they're finding a lot of problems dealing with the composition of Burnex Flash. At this point, Roy, I think he needs maybe some leg plates, or maybe Dreadnought armor, or maybe a full Anticuras, because my oh my, D7 is gonna keep on hounding this Novaria.
He needs a pair of pants.
He needs a pair of pants.
That's safe to say. And now, even Lucian Curie feeling the wrath of all this physical damage from Burnex Flash.
He's angry! Minoan's Rage down on the 2 members, but the Cult Altar will be able to keep them alive for a little while longer as Donut jumped himself over the back lines with the BMI, but it doesn't seem like we'll be able to do quite much there. Most of the members from the side of RSG were on a sliver, and they are barely alive, but they will be able to recall back home. And this would be big as important Final slash from ATM. He's still gonna be relentless. He still wants to continue. But I don't think that he will be able to stretch it any longer.
That was a very expensive shutdown on the D7, but just the same, Burnex Flash kept them hostage. They put them right where they wanted them. All this while, Donut was pushing up top, and now the map is slowly turning blue. That is the upper quarter, all belonging to Kamai.
Seacat with the plays, actually. He baited Oki so much, and Oki had to commit. When he jumped in, the final splash was really off cooldown coming up from ATM. I would say Burnex Flash, their chemistry is just way too good.
Not just their communications as well. They're playing the map to a point where in RSGSG are getting overloaded. Here they're making a play for the Lord. It's at about half of its health. Let's see. Astral Echo already spent.
Diablo down to the bottom lane though. He's getting distracted as D7 is on spot, has been able to put his HP all the way down low. He's gonna go down. In the meantime, the main fight, Shama takes the Lord. But for now, Oki soars into the air. He did manage to get a kill down on the Shama. That's gonna be good. And as well as ATM, RSG and Burnex Flash tries to find value from both sides. But what is this that we're seeing? Seacat is appearing in the middle lane, but D7 nowhere to be found.
2 for 1, but the Lord still goes over to Burnex Flash, first Lord of Game 3. Expect that the map will remain blue, but just the same, RSGSG are down but not out.
Yeah, they did get a kill on the Chima, but the fact that Chima is level 12 when the Bray was only level 11 during the Lord fight, they got the W of the Lord. They still lost their jungler, but the fact of the matter is there's just a lot of economic advantage that Burnex Flash was able to get. Again, it's all about the macro.
Oh, spotted there. I think D7 knows. He had a feeling that Lucian Cutie was waiting to engage. Here's what's interesting. RSGSG, they want to be able to protect their map. They want to be able to keep as much territory for them. But just the same, they can't do that because they're better in a 5v5 against Burnex Flash, especially when D7 is out on the hunt. So what do they do here? Do they always use Astral Echo when it's up? Because they definitely need to if they want to win, like now!
Seems like it. They managed to find 4 people.
4 people.
That was one of the bigger Astral Echoes of the series.
For sure. This is important now because eventually when you get to level 12, your Astral Echo will just last, the cooldown will just be about 28 seconds. So that's massive.
So with that being said, you can see here...
No physical defense from Roy.
That's right, did not pick up any pants. So he's playing greedy here. But just the same, I think for the past 4 or 5 minutes, D7 has been relatively mum. He's playing a pacifist run on this Natalia now.
That's right, because he's being spotted, and I think that will be expected now. And this is always the dilemma for the Natalia. What do you do when you're actually leading by so much, right? Typically, you don't invite anybody to step out of their comfort zone. And RSG, look at them go. It's just not leaving each other right now.
It's like the threat of D7 is constantly appearing in every single part of the map, right?
Yeah.
RSG don't really have someone that is really tanky enough except for Bray to just kind of face check onto the brushes. So they gotta have to leave it to Roy with the ultimate or perhaps even the Astral Spear.
Yeah, not just. Even Lucian Cutie's afraid to face check into a bush that has Natalia. Because, yeah, you are a Minotaur, but the silence is key. The fact that you can't answer back as quickly with a motivational roar, nor a Minoan's Fury, despite its buff recently, it's not as easy to say. So, again, RSGSG here, they understand that the margin of error is so small for them. And now Burnex Flash, I'm waiting for them to step on the clutch. I'm waiting for them to say, you know what, it's time. We have to be aggressive. What timers are we looking at? Level 12 for Roy. Oh, he's still not quite there yet.
Very important to get that ultimate. Level 3 ultimate.
Diablo, eye for an eye. Electro final blow, barely gets himself away.
And that came at a very small cost for Burnex Flash. Not many ults spent.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Benedetta won't be in this fight. At least for the next maybe 5 to 10 seconds. He do have the top lane to shove out. He gotta have to defend that as well. But we don't see Claude anywhere.
Yep. Now Chima looking for the pull. Lucian Cutie standing their ground after Echo. This one's a good one. They see a lot of members from Burnex Flash.
The big man, Roy, goes down. And now the rest of the members from the side of Burnex Flash understand that they do have enough priority. They're just going to be jumping right in, brings on the Lord, and 3 men down from the side of RSG. Okay, the last member remaining down in the bottom side. And it's going to be left with Diablo to try to defend it all.
Again, we were talking about the fact that you only need some pants. Just little bit of a physical defense coming out from Roy, and you saw what happened. 100 to 0 in a fraction of a second onto a Navaria, a very important hero for the side of RSG.
D7 showing complete respect and patience in the situation. He understood that I only need to find Roy, and if I do, this could be it. Lord crashing through top lane, already penetrated. Burnex Flash knocking down RSGSG's door. They're already inside their base. D7 taking care of a wave down bottom, and look how deep Diablo is cutting in mid.
Burnex Flash has smelled fresh blood, and they are ready for the hunt. They are gonna chow down like a hungry toddler, and they will do whatever that they can to bring RSG's late SG down. But what exactly is gonna be the start of the fight? That is, as IATM goes in for the final flash onto Losing Cutie, brings him out, but he managed to flicker right back home.
The Singaporean overlords, the champions of MPLSG Season 5, still breathing, still here, successfully defends. Now Roy hit that threshold. Faster release on the Astral Echo, but to what extent, given that they can barely leave their base?
Yeah, I'm just looking through all of the items of the members of RSG. You can see all of them have some semblance of a physical defense. You can see, for example, there's Hiras and some pants for Diablo, and you have the brute force breastplate, and this is expected for the alpha, and the entirety of their squad will have physical defense except an important hero. I think that somebody has to call that from RSG.
Roy.
You cannot rely on the fact that D7 will be spotted out. You see 3 big team fights that didn't have the Navaria for RSG.
Oh, Roy, get some pants on. Even Lucian Curie's got some pants on.
Exactly.
At some point, he was sitting on so much leather jerkin. Yes, how much leather jerkin you want, Lucian? Yes!
That's a problem. And
All
the
right.
fact that there is also Donut, right, that also deals physical damage. I think that the understanding coming out from RSG's late.
Yeah, and Seagat isn't even a real damage dealer. Oh no, but Diablo!
He managed to get away, no problem. But ATM wants to come in from behind, and Lucian immediately knocks ATM up. As long as no one gives him the proxy to keep on with the dash, he was gonna be A-okay. Diablo won't run away, but it's Lucian Cutie! He goes down to the hands of Burnex Flash, and that is the Lord popping out in 20 seconds. This is crucial.
The back-to-back Khmer champions are using the most of this 9k gold lead. They understood that if we split up RSGSG for just maybe a second or two, there would be a huge advantage for us. We outman them, we outgun them, and we take down who we can. Lucian Cutie being absent from this Lord take is going to be crucial. Not even a thought of a contest here coming in from RSGSG. Unless, is that enough for a snipe, can they? No, they're going to blitz it.
It's a blitz.
Nope.
Immediately.
I love this decision coming out from Burnex Flash. They
No
really
questions
are. They are going for the head now, as the expression would say. They will definitely be coming through it. Look at that D7
What?
stealing that purple.
Dude, even D7, that's a roamer. That's a roamer stealing away your buff.
RSG is just losing control in the entire part of the map, and the only place that they can go is within their own home. But Lord marches in the top side, ready to pillage everything that RSGSG loves. What can they possibly do here?
One thing is stay inside your base, play in your base.
Yeah.
And now I'm hoping that Roy is ready to rumble and that he has all the items that he needs, at least to clear the waves. Because, man, given the single target nature of a majority of the heroes from RSGSG, their wave clear isn't the best. And now the end may be nigh unless the Raiders have something to say about it. Look at this Lord up top and a mid-wave coming crashing through.
CCAS HP not looking very well though, but he will definitely want to start with the Shadow Stampede. The rest of the members from the start of Burnex Flash just going to be holding on behind. The final slash did connect, but not quite much. Roy almost with the smack down on ATM. They just want to look for a small little big play from their own side. They want to clip someone on the side of Burnex Flash, and only then when they find themselves that edge, they will jump in.
Mad respect, RSGSG. Understood the dynamics of that defense. So close call there, sniping from Roy. A successful defense, yeah, they lose their mid inhibitor. They lose top lane inhibitor as well, but they still have one more in bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I expect sudden crashing through these odd angles in their own jungle. So maybe now, with these items that they have, they can play around. What's the item game looking like?
Seems like still full damage from Roy. Very important that he... I guess the decision is, okay, I get one shot by D7, I don't care anymore. I one-shot people too. By the way, Diablo played the defense so well. The usage of the eye for an eye was actually perfect when they tried to go for him, and he managed to stay alive in those defenses.
I think the general game plan here from the side of RSG is just to try to play safe. But unfortunately, that doesn't look safe for me at all. As we have Bray taken down, coincide with the life or timer of the Lord.
Oh no, 40 seconds without Bray. Not even thinking about the Lord take, just his presence on the map, his contributions to clearing the waves. That was a flub, definitely from RSG.
It's gonna be bad. Even Diablo is not the last thing when it comes to the damage output of D7. Now rocking a Blade of Despair, by the way. That's how rich he is.
I feel that the win condition from the side of RSG is kind of like switched over to the side of Roy. He wants to get a little bit greedy and play in a very safe place. As long as he clips someone with his Astral Sphere, then RSG jumps in. 4v5, they want to look for that numbers advantage.
Something tells me RSG are also looking to isolate D7. If they can pick off D7, go from there, play the 5-man rotation, win off of that. That's one way to go, but this Lord, as the saying goes, forget about it.
Yeah. We'll try to defend once again, and it's the hero that you have to look for in this defense is Diablo. Is he gonna have a good time as he did in the first time that they had to defend against a level 2 Lord of Burnix Flash?
Oh, I can't believe it. This is the 4th Lord, man. And we are approaching TikTok timers. Confirmed, we are here, the 20-minute mark. If you die here, you might as well have just ended the game right then and there.
The Lord pushes aggressively. The entirety of RSG holds down the fort and wants to keep the Lord busy as possible. Donut joins in. Break gets caught out. Oki gets caught out. 2 men down from the side of RSG. And the entire part of the side of Burn and Flash is going to be pounding themselves right down on RSG. Burn and Flash takes the game. Takes the series out of the hands of RSG.
The first elimination of MSC 2023 comes at the hands of the Kamai champions. Burn X Flash made sure that we heard GGRSG for the last time.
You ban Diablo's heroes and you win a series. 3 games. They did not let Diablo play a game that he wanted to. They shut down Oki as well as Lucian. They studied the draft, they have prepared for this, and they played so well. Their macro is off the charts. Burn Express are very fluid, definitely deserving to get the win over RSGSG.
It is unfortunate for RSGSG. The amount of respect that Burn X Flash gave over to RSG is great.
Let's throw it over the stage and hear from our winners.
អបអរសាទរដល់ Burn X Flash មួយទៀតបាទវ៉ាវឥឡូវនេះជាពេលវេលាមួយដែលយើងទន្ទឹងរង់ចាំយើងដឹងហើយថាតើការប្រកួតមួយនេះនឹងទៅជាយ៉ាងណាអូឥឡូវនេះយើងឃើញថា fan របស់ Burn X Flash ច្រើនមែនតើហើយស្ទើរតែពេញមួយហលតែម្ដងនេះគឺជាអ្វីដែលយើងទន្ទឹងរង់ចាំហើយឥឡូវនេះក៏យើងនឹងទទួលបានដូចគ្នាដែរសូម Who I Burn X Flash មួយទៀតបាទ Wow I love it អញ្ចឹងឥឡូវនេះយើងឃើញហើយថា fan របស់ Burn X Flash ច្រើនមែនទែនហើយពិតជាសប្បាយចិត្តមែនទែនក្នុងការទទួលបាននៅជ័យលាភីមួយនេះអញ្ចឹងយើងចង់នឹងថាតើ Burn X Flash ខ្លួនឯងផ្ទាល់មានអារម្មណ៍យ៉ាងម៉េចដែរ Okay now I'm gonna pass this to Mara on stage
Congratulations Burn X Flash with a sweep! That was such a phenomenal game. Now I want to ask you first, D7, did you know from the very start, did you have a feeling that you were going to sweep the opponent 3-0?
Yes, but my plan, I think it's just 3 or 1, but it's smooth like 3-0 like that.
Okay, គាត់គិតថាមុនដំបូងគាត់អត់នឹកស្មានថាគាត់នឹងអាចយកឈ្នះនៅសិង្ហបុរី 3-0 បែបនេះទេគាត់គិតត្រឹមថាអាចនឹង 1-2 ឬមួយក៏3សុំទៅ 1-2 ប៉ុណ្ណឹងប៉ុន្តែឥឡូវនេះគឺ 3-0 តែម្ដងបាទពិតជាអស្ចារ្យមែនទែន
Good prediction. He knew from the start it was going to be a sweep At worst case scenario, it's 3-1. But let's talk about that Natalia pick in game number 3. That was a surprise pick, and I don't know if you heard, but when you picked Natalia, everybody in the crowd was cheering. So let's talk about that Natalia pick in game 3. Why did you choose that?
We picked Natalia because this is our plan for bet Novria. It's okay.
អូខេគាត់និយាយថាហើយបានជាសំណួរសួរថាហើយបានជាគាត់ pick Natalia នៅក្នុងការលេងនៅក្នុង game ទី 3 នេះហើយគាត់បានលើកឡើងថានេះគឺជាគម្រោងការរបស់គាត់ដែលគាត់នឹងសម្រេចចិត្តក្នុងការ pick យក Natalia នៅក្នុងការលេងសម្រាប់ game ទី 3 នេះហើយឥឡូវនេះគឺទទួលបានជ័យជំនះហើយបាទ
And that was a very good choice because that countered a lot of the opponent's hero. Now let's talk to somebody familiar. Donut! Donut, hey! Uy, galing mo ah. Galing! Okay. Basically, you have a new journey here with Burn X Flash. Let's talk about your journey and how are you liking it so far? Especially how far you've gone. Talk about that.
My journey in Burn X Flash is really fun. Especially they're like my second family and feels like I'm in home. So yeah, they're fun to hang out with. So yeah.
Okay. So the question គាត់បានសួរថាតើឥឡូវនេះគឺ Donut គាត់បានចូលរួមជាមួយនឹង Burn X Flash នៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជារបស់យើងនៅក្នុងការប្រកួតនៅ game មួយនេះថាតើ journey គាត់ដំណើរជីវិតរបស់គាត់នៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាយ៉ាងម៉េចដែរគាត់ថាប្រទេសកម្ពុជារបស់យើងពិតជាល្អមែនទែន team ក៏ល្អ team ពិតជារស់រាយរាក់ទាក់ហើយគាត់មានអារម្មណ៍ថាគាត់ដូចជាបាននៅក្នុងប្រទេសគាត់ផ្ទាល់តែម្ដងអញ្ចឹងគាត់ស្រឡាញ់ជាមួយនឹង team មួយនេះមែនទែនបាទ
You're fitting really well here, Donut. I'm really proud of you. Now, Chima, okay, you and I have the same name, is that right?
Yeah.
That's your family name.
Yeah.
So we have something in common. Now, you're gonna have a really tough match for the next round. You're going to be facing either Blacklist International or FIMP. If you could choose, who would you rather face?
Yes, of course, Blacklist. They're gonna win anyway.
Blacklist.
Wow, Blacklist.
Okay. And why is that? Most people would be scared to face them, seeing as they were once world champion. Why Blacklist? Why did you choose that?
Because I think the next match they're gonna win anyway. If I choose FIMP, it's always Blacklist. Blacklist gonna win.
So you're cheering? You think they're gonna win anyway?
Okay. សំណួរសួរថាហេតុអីបានជាគាត់ជ្រើសរើសយកតើនៅពេលបើសិនជាគាត់ឈ្នះឥឡូវនេះគាត់នឹងយក Blacklist ឬមួយក៏ FIMP គាត់និយាយ MP គាត់និយាយថាគាត់នឹងជ្រើសរើសយក Blacklist ព្រោះគាត់ដឹងថាទោះបីជាយ៉ាងណាក៏ដោយក៏គាត់ Blacklist នៅតែឈ្នះដែរប៉ុន្តែសុខចិត្តថាបើសិនជាចាញ់នៅក្រោមដៃអ្នកដែលមានឥទ្ធិពលខ្លាំងហ្មងបាទ
I love how confident he is. Now, last time you said a few words to your opponent when you eliminated them. Now this time, for RSG, is there something that you want to say to them?
For RSG, nah. They are my friend. RSG, Diablo, GG bro.
Okay. និយាយទៅមានអ្នកបោះពីយ៉ុងឲ្យទៀតមកណាបោះពីយ៉ុងឲ្យថា safe fly ត្រឡប់ទៅវិញអញ្ចឹងណាប៉ុន្តែ actually គាត់អត់ទេគឺគាត់ល្អណាស់អញ្ចឹងគាត់និយាយរបៀបបែបបទភាពថាបែបល្អ yes nice ព្រោះនេះគឺជាការប្រកួតប្រជែងហើយយើងក៏មិនដឹងថាតើអ្នកណាមួយនឹងឈ្នះអ្នកណាមួយនឹងចាញ់ដែរឈ្នះក៏ដោយចាញ់ក៏ដោយពួកយើងស្ទើរតែបានបញ្ចេញនៅអស់សមត្ថភាពដែរបាទ
And now it's time to reveal the MVP of this match. Who do you guys think it is?
អ្នកណាគេដែរ
A lot of people. We're hearing Shema, we're hearing D7. Okay, now let's reveal the MVP of today. Let's take a look. Congratulations. D7! D7! How do you feel about being the MVP? You were the key to today's win. Go ahead, talk about your feeling. Did you expect that you were going to be MVP?
I think all MVP is just my teammate all. Because we talk this today, we communicate so good.
Today you communicated really well.
Yes.
So you credit this to your team.
Yes.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah គាត់គិតថាគាត់មិនគិតថាគាត់នឹងទទួលបាន MVP ទេប៉ុន្តែដោយសារតែគាត់ដឹងថានេះគឺជា team ទាំងមូលតែម្ដងព្រោះអីដោយសារតែគាត់មិនមែនលេងតែម្នាក់ឯងគាត់គិតថាចំណែករបស់គាត់ដែលទទួលបាននេះគឺជាចំណែករបស់ក្រុមការងាររបស់គាត់ទាំងអស់អញ្ចឹង shout out ទៅ team Burn X Flash មួយមក
Cambodia, once again, let's make some noise for your home team, Burn X Flash. And now it's time to break it down for you. So we're gonna go back to our casters. Casters, let's see the word.
GG, well played. Burn X Flash moves on to the next round, but we must say goodbye to our Singaporean boys here. RSG played a strong game 1 as well as a game 2, but right at the very end here at game 3, it all came down to a fight. How brutal was it? As we look at our MVP one more time, D7, what a standout. The communication, and of course, on a Natalia.
It was definitely brutal. The way that you saw D7 just one-shot the squishy members on the side of RSG. And they said it even. Like, it was the counter to the Novaria. And we look that way. Had it been the Novaria went for a little bit of physical defense, it will be a different story.
It's really unfortunate that when it comes down to Roy, he didn't really have that much amount of respect over to D7's Natalia. That was big, and just having some pants would have been slightly alleviate his pain.
That's right, and Gideon opened up with the perfect word, brutal.
Yeah,
As a
brutal.
roamer, you expect for them to, again, be an anchor, to start putting up a front line. But no, Burn X Flash's D7 was in your face. You'll see it here in the heat map in the early game. Look, he was crossing the river so soon, so early.
Yep, this is between the 0th minute all the way to the 5th minute of the game. So he's sniffing out for information. Any rotations that are aggressively through the river does get punished. And we saw a lot of that within those first 5.
Yeah, you first stayed in the XP lane and then transferred into the mid lane afterwards. They had a lot of focus when it comes to like controlling the purple buff as well. Knowing full well that they have Taramis and Frederick, that allowed them to not need a roamer anymore when it comes to like frontlining, because you have the Frederick Taramis anyways. But look at that Roy. Look, Roy cannot even like get a skill. After the Astro Recall, there's nothing that he can do against a Natalia.
You know how bad it was? Even Lucian Curie didn't want to see a roaming Natalia. Because again, the silence. And he was scoring double kills. He was scoring solo kills from out of nowhere. And here's the thing. There was admittedly a quiet time for Natalia, right, in this game. But eventually, he came back, and I think we'll see it here when he finally pops Roy again.
Yep, it's so nasty to see, because especially when you're Novaria, you have to find a position, and honestly, these quote-unquote off angles puts you in a very isolated spot that again, we're seeing the Natalia fully exploit. And in this last fight, Wolf, you were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, they're not a bit once again, because there is the passive that you get from the level 18 Lord, wherein if you get marked, you get an extra damage. So Sika was so good at landing the Ghost Bursters, specifically on the 1-1, and Oki didn't even have a chance to get some damage even after the Minoan Fury was there. It was a great Minoan Fury, but there were so many good things from Burn X Flash. They have the counter with the Cult Altar, they have the Ghost Bursters, and they have the shutdown from D7. So good when it comes to drafting. Burn X Flash really prepared for the Novaria.
Your boy ATM also started rocking the Queen's Wings. We're starting to see more Queen's Wings in MSC.
Love it.
Honestly, if I was looking for anybody who carried that early to make it, I would say that it's ATM, because again, Diablo very slippery on this Benedetta, and ATM is super patient with the way that he utilizes his abilities.
He's constantly on the hunt for Diablo. In fact, they have a very good idea that they would want to have ATM onto Diablo, D7 onto Roy. And there is never a point in time where Burn X Flash forgets about that kill drive.
Cut back to the interview. The communication was key. Because if you look at RSG, sometimes Lucian Cutie is on the opposite side of the map trying to cover for Oki, and that's the big issue. RSG is guessing. They have no idea where this Natalia is supposed to be, and it's hard to start putting up posts when you don't even know which direction they're shooting from.
It is not ironic. They have the Astral Echo. They have the Novaria. So I'm guessing that also hinders their communication. If you're holding on to that because you're afraid of D7, it becomes chicken and the egg. Do I use it to save myself? Do I use it to set up things? And I guess that explains why Lucian Cutie was so poor in this game.
Man, I just want to write what you were just talking about. I think that the communication that they're talking about, at least what they said in the interview, really reflects on how they are playing.